Pharrell Williams, man, the personal part of this, I don't have enough time for.
Hmm.
So I might do a breakout session just for social media on my more personal feelings about Pharrell. This is more about the culture at large,
Okay.
but it'll speak to the same answer to the same question. And it's how and why my heart is broken. I think most of us, right, if you're hearing this in a vacuum and you have no idea what I'm talking about, would agree that Pharrell Williams, formerly of the Neptunes, is a genius who was the architect of an entire world of sound, music, fashion, enlightenment. This man shaped the sound of an entire generation, in my opinion. This man co wrote and produced a song that carried us collectively as a culture through some of the darkest moments of the last decade.
Mm. I know which song you're talking about.
Something that felt like it was our actual anthem, collectively, all of us. And recently he said something that felt like the sharpest possible version of betrayal.
Okay.
He hates politics because it isn't real. And forgive me if I misquote him in any way, but please don't hang up on the semantics here. We will post this story so you can go read it for yourself. I'm not trying to mislead anyone, but I think you will see that my position and how I feel about his position is accurate. He said that choosing a side creates division, that this fight that we have been in for the entire existence of this country is just a magic trick. Again, it's not real. Brother, you made all right with Kendrick Lamar Duckworth of Compton, California fame. So, how did we end up here? Let me slow down. The weight of all right.
Hmm.
Every day for about 6 months, this song was my literal alarm clock.
Mhm.
We need to honor what all right is and what it has meant for us. This was not just a song, folks. This was our rallying cry, the heartbeat of Ferguson, the soundtrack of our exhaustion and our endurance. All right was like a prayer, a chant, a collective declaration that Black life, despite this system, despite the bullets, despite generational trauma, still had meaning. When Kendrick starts, all's my life I had to fight. All of us felt that. History, truth, memories forged in blood. So when the man that not only helped craft that sonic sanctuary, but the one whose voice you hear declaring, we gonna be all right, turns around and says that that fight isn't real,
Okay.
you can see how that hits your soul like a betrayal
Yeah.
and might even break your heart.
I see what you mean.
Only a multi millionaire living and working in Paris now could call American politics fake. You see, for Black people, the idea of being apolitical should sound ridiculous because we live here.
Yeah.
Only someone fully insulated by wealth, protected by their distance from, shielded by global fame, can afford to float above this actual political violence that Black and brown people face every day, every single day in America. For us, politics is not abstract. For people that look like us, it's literally life or death. We don't get to pretend it's not going on and live above it. We can't meditate our way out of police brutality, ICE raids, environmental racism, disproportionate maternal mortality, voter suppression, criminal sentencing, grossly unfair criminal sentencing, food deserts, gun violence, hate crimes. Ramses, do I need to go on? Redlining, black codes, Jim Crow, politics, fake. In this country, the one we live in now, oppression. Oh, that's our imagination. I got it. We be tripping. Division. Picking a side is what causes the division. So that's a self-chosen thing. Contrary to what all of these new revolutionaries think, neutrality does not make you appear more enlightened. But it does point out that you have a privileged distance from the danger that is our everyday reality. It's interesting when you watch someone climb a ladder that someone helped them put up and then get to the top of it and knock it down.
Mm.
He spoke out about how DEI is no longer on the table. Watching someone that used that very ladder, DEI, affirmative action, the civil rights movement, the very groundwork that our ancestors literally died for. Watching someone climb that ladder to the highest possible ascension and then turn around and look back like such a ladder never even existed. No one has benefited more from the cultural, political, and social advancements of the Black struggle than the Black creative. And Pharrell is one of the most successful creatives in human history. In the Black billionaire class, a global icon, the head of one of the most successful luxury brand groups in the history of the earth. A man living the exact dream our ancestors bled, fought, and died for. The fullest version of it. So when he flippantly declares, don't pick sides, just be excellent, it shows a complete disconnection from realities that he no longer has to face. Because we all know being the best has never been enough to protect Black people. If excellence alone was the answer, we would be shaking hands with a very old Martin Luther King Jr. because he would not have been taken from us violently. Barack Obama's birth certificate would not have led to the political supernova of our current president's political career. It never would have been questioned in the first place. Colin Kaepernick taking a knee to protest us being killed in the streets whilst posing no threat, would not have caused him to be exiled from a league where he was one of the best. Breonna Taylor would still be alive. Jordan Neely wouldn't have got choked away in the subway and the person that did it able to just live his life like nothing happened.
Oh no, he got a bonus. He got a job offer. He's making millions now.
And Stop Woke would have never made any sense. Meritocracy is a myth, more so in this country than any place else on the planet. And insinuating that we should, back to this bootstraps myth, just be the best and pull ourselves up. That's really, really insulting. Coming from a Black billionaire whose success we're directly responsible for, as he lectures us about this false choice of excellence versus Blackness. We spoke recently about convenient allyship, a larger crisis. Black success too often has led to Black disassociation. And we've seen it with many. Recently, some who once again have broken my heart and made my stomach hurt. Kanye West, Jason Whitlock, Herschel Walker. Names I never would have associated with Pharrell Williams. The pattern, however, is the same. Rise on the foundation of Black struggle. Remember who wrote F the Police. If you follow him, you'll notice his views kind of don't align with that message anymore.
Mhm. Dang.
They enter white dominated spaces. They become grossly successful, insulated from everyday consequences. Declare the struggle that they just grew from divisive. Criticize the very tools that allowed them to ascend to heights unimaginable. And then pretend that their liberation is an individual achievement. They were just the best, so that's why they're where they are. When you actually live out the American dream, selective amnesia kicks in. Then somehow they both sides it. And this is a convenient position because on its face, it sounds correct. Except they're not saying both sides don't care about us, because that would kind of be true. They're saying both sides are the same. And that is blatantly false, intellectually dishonest, and intentionally that way. Only one side of our political system is justifying mass civilian death in Gaza, most of them children, pardoning men connected to some of the grossest crimes in the history of our country, i.e. January 6th, i.e. Jeffrey Epstein, attacking DEI, endorsing ICE raids on U.S. citizens, erasing Black history, protecting white supremacists, pushing white Christian nationalism as policy, and forcefully, in our face, dismantling civil rights protections. That's not division, and that's not both sides. So that is a very dangerous argument being made. So when Pharrell says don't pick a side because that's divisive, he's asking the oppressed to stand still while the harm that threatens you escalates. Both sides becomes spiritualized. Something Stephen A. Smith said recently, or insinuated anyway. Stand down and hope that you survive. Black people, we have not survived this long by being neutral. We survived because we had to choose a side. Our lives depended on it. Even when our lives were the cost, we chose. And yes, part of the heartbreak is knowing that Pharrell's neutrality comes at a time where neutrality is morally bankrupt. One side is shielding atrocities globally against children, shielding traffickers, profiting from and financially supporting and backing genocide. Not Ramses and Q's opinion, fact. These are not just policy disagreements. These are crimes against humanity. So we preach neutrality in the face of human suffering and call politics fake while innocent people are being bombed. Dismissing division in cases of children being trafficked. This is a failure of moral imagination from a Black man whose ancestors endured America's original sin so that he could ascend to heights unimaginable. You cannot make all right and then walk away when it's time to fight for us. You cannot profit from Black struggle to the ascension that you have made and then pretend that very struggle is our imagination. You don't get to climb the ladder our ancestors built and then call the ladder what divides us. You cannot declare neutrality when neutrality is clearly a privilege. And you definitely cannot tell people who still have to fight just to breathe in this country that politics are not real. I know you made it, bro. I celebrated every success. But some of us are still fighting. Some of us are still marching. Meet my brother in DC. Some of us are still bleeding, still demanding justice, still surviving systems that were designed to crush us. And we gonna be all right is part of how we've been able to endure. Not because of neutrality, not because we didn't pick a side, but because of solidarity. Please let the record show this fight is still very real. It is not a magic trick. Neutrality is not a position that we can adopt. Even when those of us who have reached privilege forget about it.